Hey everyone, it's Jen, and this is Spirited Saturdays. And this week we're talking about silencing your inner critic and letting your creativity flow and finding inspiration within you and around you. And what a great topic! Such a pertinent topic to my own life and my recovery for sure, and for the recovery of a lot of people that I've met and that I know and heard about. And I mean, I could talk for days about this, but it's so important to put on pause the voice that judges you if you want to have an honest process in recovery and a process that is so true to who you are and who you're becoming. Um, I mean, just as an example, I remember part of my getting ill was really losing my voice and losing my confidence. My really feeling like I was losing my singing voice and really feeling myself go very flat in terms of my tone, my intonation, just the melodic component to my voice felt like it had dulled. It really had felt like it had dulled. So, um, a lot of getting it back, becoming alive again, obviously, other than nourishment and consistent practice in recovery, um, in the physical parts of recovery, where and the cognitive parts of recovery, obviously, were practices with myself to allow my creative process to unfold as it naturally needed to. Like if I were to just silence judgments, silence the I can'ts, the I won't, the I will never again, all of that, let it go. Before letting it go, actually just acknowledging that it's there in the first place was really important. But then by acknowledging it, I allowed it to let it go and allow my creative process to unfold naturally. And this doesn't mean that this took place not just with music, this took place with things that I don't consider myself to be um, particularly skilled in. This pertained to any part of myself that naturally wanted to have a voice. So like in treatment we did a lot of artwork and I loved it. And actually, come to think of it, that might be a really good place to start for people, to start in a place where you don't even really expect yourself to be good at it, but just something that can be fun for you. And that kind of fun can translate into all sorts of healing. So for me, doing artwork where I had no expectations of myself and just looked at it as bright colors and textures um, and just fun and allowance to focus, to really get into it, to be very like zen about it, to be very just very like mixing the colors and mixing the kinds of pattern, like the kinds of patterns I was drawing or the kinds of collages I was making, like all of these things. I had no expectation that I should be good at it, and in that I just allowed it to take shape, and in the end I had a piece of art that I could own, that I could feel good about, and that if I were to look at it afterward, I could probably make some important therapeutic connections with it because I had just let go and didn't use my conscious brain to decide what I was going to do next. It was more of just allowing my intuition to guide me. So to go back to what I was saying earlier, I personally felt that music was something that was extremely important to what defines me as a person, to what part of what makes me me, something that I very much felt like I lost to the eating disorder. So in that same sense, allowing the music to come back was a huge part in its return, not forcing it, and also trusting. So, and trusting that it was largely a matter of confidence, and that as I grew in recovery, I gained confidence in my life, and therefore that confidence translated through my music and through my voice. I had to let these things happen bit by bit and not put any additional pressure on myself. So I remember one day on a pass from the hospital, I went to a rehearsal space that I go to sometimes, and I went there on a pass. I went there to let myself be musical and not um, try to write anything, not try to figure anything out necessarily, but just try, just be in that space and try to feel the music. That's what it is, trying to feel and get in touch with and connect to the music. And I remember doing that and being there, and I actually accidentally, I should say, um, came up with an additional part of a song that had been on hold for like a year. And before that even happened, though, I remember just sitting there and crying because I was playing and feeling again. And, that was just a tiny piece of it. And it still had a long way to go before feeling like I was whole and intact. But I really like took that pressure away and just let whatever was going to come out, and felt connected. So don't judge the part of you that's like, this is good, this is bad, I'm not there yet, because that doesn't matter. What matters is what you do, and what matters is how connected you feel to the things that you are doing, and what matters is how connected you feel to the people around you, and what you can see in the people around you, and the kinds of inspiration you can draw from the people who you interact with and who offer you little bits of things day to day. What matters is the kind of a recognition you can give to the things that make you feel grateful. Just noticing the things that just noticing all of the things that you're grateful for as you go about your day can really lift your spirits and connect you to well, connect you to your spirit, and connect you, um, like, once you lift yourself to a certain place, it's easier to stay there. So in order to get to that place, it's often a great idea to just soak in feelings of gratitude and really focus on the good feelings that you have, the mm, and other people's stories of how they got from point A to point B, and that it wasn't always easy for them, but you see in them, you see that they reached a better place. And again, a lot of that is just trust. You don't have to know how it's going to happen for you, and your story isn't anybody else's story, but a lot of it is trust in your process, and trust in and just trust in the journey, and excitement for yourself, excitement that you can feel, excitement at the stimulation that is all around you, that always presents opportunity for inspiration, and always presents opportunities for feeling good and for feeling connected to your surroundings. And so maybe that means to feel good and connected to your surroundings and to feel inspired. Go visit the ocean, go to the beach, go walk on the boardwalk, go to a park, go to someplace that's going to really let you focus on just your breath and just immediately connect to your surroundings. So sometimes it really means just being by yourself, being around places, and being around animals, being around these things that aren't judging you, and that allow you to just connect with your own truth and derive your own personalized insight, inspiration, find your own muse, find that what makes you and only you tick, and do these things bit by bit. And there's no pressure, there's no timeline, but pay attention to how they make you feel, and pay attention every time you feel good. and smile every time you feel good and recognize it and really internalize it and really store it, because even though it will be fleeting, it can still be stored and you can still return to it and build on it later. Okay, have a great week and see you next week. Take care. Bye.